Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I will be discussing why the state of Missouri could end up being very, very close come 2022 and why I don't think it will, but why I think it could potentially end up being best case scenario for the Democrats, a lean blue state. I still think it'll probably be likely or lean red, but I'll be explaining why it could be incredibly, incredibly competitive. Now, Missouri is usually a solid red state. I mean, like in 2020, Donald Trump won it by roughly 16%. In 2016, he won it by roughly 20%, slightly less. But so it was a fairly red state. However, we can go look at the 2016 Senate results. When Roy Blunt only won it, he won it by an incredibly, incredibly narrow margin, only 2.8% over Jason Kennedy. This was because Canada was a very, very strong candidate. However, Blunt announced his retirement, so Blunt will not be running. It will be an open seat. We will go see a new senator from Missouri after the midterms. So I'm going to get started right away. First off is the fact that the Republicans, not 100% certain, it's not completely certain yet, but there's a very good chance that they run a very, very weak candidate, former Governor Eric Greitens. Now, Greitens, you can go look at his 2016 gubernatorial bid when he won. He didn't win by much. I mean, like, he won by, like, 4.5%. Or so, yeah, not a whole lot, especially in Missouri. And also considering the fact that he was on the same ballot as Hillary Clinton. I don't think that being on the same ballot as somebody necessarily means much. I think that a lot of the time it won't change a whole lot, but it's another something. And once again, I don't think it'll do a whole lot. But still, considering the fact that he was on the ballot with Trump in a state like Missouri, it's a really, really bad sign. Now, Missouri is a very it has a lot of um I guess it's a very agricultural based state. It's very rural, Midwestern state. When I think of the Midwest, I generally think of like Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, or Nebraska, but Missouri typically comes to mind first a lot of the time. So it's essentially like the definition of a Midwestern state. Greitens is a very, very weak candidate. He could be like the Chris Kobach of Missouri, considering the fact that he is unpopular, but there's a decent chance that he wins. I mean, like we can go scroll up here and we can go look at the Republican primary. Right now, he's winning against Eric Schmidt in this poll. Um, Not exactly a whole lot of polling out. 538 did release their polling averages, or not polling averages, um, polls, I guess, but not a whole lot from Missouri. Candor Blunt, but this is from January 10th and through 12th. 12th, whatever. It's old, not very reliable, not likely at all to happen. So I don't see Candor running. However, once again, Greitens is a very, very weak candidate. Another very, very good sign for Democrats, and this could seriously help them, is Lucas Kuntz. He's running for Senate in Missouri. He is a candidate that is very similar to Cam. They're also considering the fact that he's also used to be in the military. But we can go look at him looking for it. If we can go look at his website, which is where I am, and we can look at some of these things. A lot of it is about abolishing corporate PACs. Um, However, he obviously also universal health care, but he talks about the fighting for the workers. He's like a and breaking up big agriculture, investing in education. He is very he's very populist and he is like Candor, and I think that he honestly is a very, very strong candidate in Missouri, considering the fact that I mean like it could end up being blue. Honestly, that's not an exaggeration. I don't think it will be. I think it's unlikely, but it is a very real possibility if it were to be Greetens versus Kuntz, because Kuntz, he has this rural appeal. He has appeal to farmers, rural workers. He also has I guess appeal, or I guess um a lack of appeal in Kansas City and St. Louis and in these urban areas where he's not exactly like a phenomenal urban candidate, but he's also not bad in many of these urban areas. So I think that's a good sign for him, and he, I think, would do very, very well with a lot of these role holders. But once again, what we see in Eric Greitens is he is a lot like, I think he could, as LTE put it, he could genuinely be a lot like a Chris Kobach of Missouri. Because if you don't know, Chris Kobach is from Kansas. He was incredibly, incredibly unpopular. He essentially cost the Missouri or the Kansas Republicans the gubernatorial seat. Now the gubernatorial seat is held by Laura Kelly. He ran for Senate. He didn't win though, which is a very good time for Republicans. Had he been the nominee, not Roger Marshall, it would have been probably pretty bad, especially against Barbara Bollier. But regardless, I don't see it becoming competitive enough, but or flipping. But this is just a sign that we could potentially see an incredibly, incredibly competitive Missouri. Um, and we could end up seeing a Leonard, Missouri. I mean, like I said, if we go look at the polls, it was incredibly close. These are not great polls. I mean, like, other than this, we see other random polls. So we haven't really been seeing a lot of recent polls out of Missouri, and I don't think that polls are trustworthy. They're just not gonna be right, but that's just something. I think Missouri polls had Trump winning by like 11% or something, and he won by like 16. Um, but I think that very well we could very easily see a very, very competitive Missouri, just given the fact that it's. I mean, like when it was a strong Dem against an average Republican, it was that close. It was 2.8 with a strong, strong Democrat and an average Republican. With a strong, strong Democrat versus a really, really weak Republican, we could easily see Missouri become a competitive swing state once again. Or at least for this election. I think it'll probably be like a likely or safe red on the presidential level though in 2024. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Not quite certain what to film. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all there. Bye.